Okay, so this one's called Loop-de-Loop. This one's really great if you have a big space outside like the sidewalk where you can just draw something that looks sort of like a roller coaster. You'll see my little path that I made for my roller coaster, but you could make yours a lot longer if you're outside. And you can just use yourself. You don't have to have any equipment. I happen to be sitting on a little cart. It's kind of like a little skateboard cart, but you could get a scooter, a bike, anything that you've got, okay? And what you're going to do is you're just going to follow this pathway either on foot or on your bike or whatever you're using, okay? That's all there is to Loop-to-Loop, and just have fun pretending like you are at IncrediWorld Amazement Park.
When God created, He created out of nothing. That's how powerful God is. And ever since God created things, man has been copying God's creation. Did you realize that Orville and Wilbur Wright, the men who are credited with inventing the airplane, actually studied birds when they were trying to figure out how to make a plane that could fly? They studied God's creation because we know that God's creation is perfect because God is perfect. He is all-knowing. And so Orville and Wilbur Wright, they studied God's creation. And man continues to study God's creation when we go to making things or inventing things, but we could never create something out of nothing like God did because God, He created it first, He created it best because God is perfect. And so, since we're talking about birds and we're talking about flying, a fun thing that you could do as a game today is create some paper airplanes. Of course, you can't create those out of nothing. You need some paper. And so I have always enjoyed making paper airplanes since I was a kid. And there's lots of different styles and designs, but if you don't know kind of a lot about how to make a paper airplane, maybe you could get with somebody like an adult and you can search on the internet for all different kinds of designs. You know, when I was a kid, my cousins and I used to always make fun paper airplanes. And actually, they taught me a really cool airplane that I still like making to today. And it's very, very different. When you put it together, it kind of looks like a crown, but it's actually a round airplane. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen one like this, but I like to make an airplane that looks like that. And once you've made your airplanes, and everybody has your airplanes, you can have a different types of contests. Maybe you want to see whose airplane flies the farthest, or whose airplane is the fastest. You can say, on your mark, get set, and go, and have races. Come up with a couple of different contests that you want to do. Maybe you want to go outside, have a start line and a finish line, and see whose airplane can make it to the finish line in the least amount of throws. There's all kinds of different ways that you can play games with these, but have a lot of fun thinking about how God created it first and God created it best. So this next game is called the Wing Wonder Relay. And we have been learning about all those wonderful, amazing birds that God created and their beaks and their feet. And so we're going to play a relay game that has to do with those birds. And you know what? When I look at animals that God has created, and I realize that this couldn't just have happened, He's made every one of those special details perfect for the way that that animal needs to use it to live and to eat and to do however God designed it. It really strengthens my faith because it makes me realize how awesome God is, how wise God is, how powerful God is, and it just proves to me that God is so real when I look at the creation that He has made. So for this Wing Wonder Relay, what you need is, of course, a starting line and a finish line. And you're going to go into two different teams, and you're going to do different ways of being a bird to go between the start line and the finish line. And you can come up with a whole bunch of ideas if you want, but here are a few that I thought of. First of all, I'm going to take a ball, and I'm going to put it between my legs, and when I go, I'm going to have to waddle like A penguin. Oh, that's going to be a fun way to do the relay race. So that's one idea that you can have. Another idea that you can have is you could get something like cotton balls, but I have some of these pom-poms here, but it could really be anything small. And maybe you want to make a pattern on the ground with those in each lane, and I've got to run up and touch this with my foot because these are like seeds. And so we're kind of pretending that the bird is coming up and picking up the seeds. So I have to zigzag back and forth and touch all those seeds. Maybe you want to come up with some ideas that don't even need any supplies. Maybe I want to be a hummingbird on this round, so I'm going to flap my wings super duper fast because the hummingbirds flap their wings super duper fast, okay? Or maybe I want to be like an eagle, and I'm going to just take big, slow, powerful ones. Or maybe this next one, I'm going to be a chicken, and so we're going to have to walk like a chicken and move our head all around as we go back and forth from the start line to the finish line. So you can come up with as many ways as you want to do this. You can do as many rounds as you want and make it a relay race and have lots of fun with the Wing Wonder Relay.